Hello and welcome to interest.co.nz. I'm Gareth Vaughan with another of our double shot interviews, and I'm joined by Shane Howell, who's the head of product at Westpac New Zealand. Thanks for coming in, Shane. Shane's here to talk to us about, the weird and wonderful things that banks are looking at doing in the fast changing world today. Now you're obviously head of product. You're responsible for the retail and business products and various other areas at the bank.
Yep. No, thanks for having me today, Gareth. It's an interesting topic, this one, and probably one that excites me the most. It's this innovation and digital agenda. So, it's a very broad topic and one I think we can touch on a few points today.
Yeah, look, I guess my interest was initially sparked by seeing an article about banks in America looking to sell cars as well as provide loans, financing and insurance on them. That's obviously a step away from traditional banking. What other examples have you seen when you look at what other banks are doing around the world? And are there anything that you're looking to do here in New Zealand, or you think your competitors might do here that's really different?
Yeah, it's a great question, actually, and I think banks, over the next 5 to 10 years will move away from the traditional product sets and move into non-traditional products and services. So what is that? And that's, I hate to use this word, but how long's a piece of string? The exciting thing for us is customers will take us there. So for me, that voice of customers is now more important than ever. And there's not a day that I don't log on to every Twitter feed or Facebook entry, and every blog and read and understand what our customers' needs and wants are. So I think size, scale and regulation will really dictate how fast a pace we see here in New Zealand.
Any particular examples you've looked at that have really struck you as surprising of what banks are selling?
Some of the interesting ones, and you've touched on that car example that we saw out of the US, and the UK have been there for a while with non-traditional banking products as part of the transactional bundle, where you get your roadside assist package or even your mobile phone insurance. So, I think packaging and bundling, and it's something insurers have been doing for years, and banks have dibbled and dabbled in and out of that. But I think we can expect to see more of that. And as we move into more of a one-to-one approach rather than one-to-many. So that's one exciting thing about this digital platform and data, is that we can really start tailoring our products and offers to an individual customer rather than that in-out approach of traditional banking.
I've read quite a few various papers and reports that have suggested that banks can or are learning a lot from the airline industry in terms of additional things that they sell on top of the basic flight, your food and various other bits and pieces that airlines sell around the actual seat on the plane.
Yeah.
Is that an industry that you're looking at much?
Yeah, I think the big thing now is we used to benchmark against our banking peers. Now we benchmark against all industries. I look at the telcos very closely. I look at the airlines. It's quite a broad spectrum. One of the interesting banks globally is Garanti Bank out of Turkey. They've actually come up with products where you can basically construct your own product or construct your own credit card, and you can add and take away services and product features as and when you want. So that's pretty exciting and really links into that airline mentality. Probably one of the big things with the airlines is that loyalty platform, and it's a great argument. There's different views of loyalty. So what the bank's view is loyalty, customers' views of loyalty. It's trying to meet those or match those needs. I think that's one of the hardest things to get right.
That Turkish credit card example is quite an interesting one. Is that something that you could look at doing in New Zealand, do you think?
Yeah, I think, as I touched on before, it really needs to be customer-led. So we're out there actively listening. We research our products. We talk to our customers regularly. We always have customer feedback section at the bottom of every email we send out. So it's really that two-way dialogue. And I think that's the exciting thing for me, is actually shaping the future with our own customers. Now,
we also hear a lot about how the banks are facing new challenges with the whole growth of the digital economy through, I guess, some of the big digital companies that we all hear about all the time, the Apples and the Googles, the Samsungs, etc. PayPal, I guess, is a good one. To what extent are they a threat, do you think, to banks?
Yeah, look, I think it's always, there's threats every single day of the week, and it's not just from the big tech companies, but, here, there and everywhere. And there's a lot of pioneers in a lot of niche markets as well, is that, banks can't be all things to all people, and there will be people slot in and out. One thing that does help us is our scale, absolutely. But, the size, scale and the regulatory reform in New Zealand will shape, I guess, what competitors come on shore and with what offerings. but it's something we actively watch.
And what about, I guess, new forms of funding that are coming in? We've got new laws coming in that are going to help various things like crowdfunding and peer-to-peer lending.
Yep.
Is that an area that's, I mean, it's obviously small scale to begin with,
Yep.
and the banks, as you say, are big and well established here.
Yep.
But is that a long-term threat or a challenge for you as well?
Well, I think it's something we watch with interest and intent. It's really in the emerging markets we've seen that expand and rapidly deploy, but haven't really seen it too much in the bigger Western cultures. We haven't seen it push too hard, but watching with intent. Yeah. And
obviously, smartphones are a key area at the moment.
Yeah.
Westpac, along with the other banks, are rolling out new apps regularly, new services. You've launched a digital watch service app. Which has just been announced just before we sat down, actually. Where do you see all that going? I mean, what else can we expect to see on that front in coming months?
Yeah, I know, it's pretty exciting. So I've actually got the watch on as we speak now. But, the exciting thing for me there is this 24/7 connectivity. So customers' needs and wants are changing. So, 20 years ago it was that bricks and mortar approach to banking, but expectations are rising every single day. The bank needs to meet those customer demands. And I think it's this always-on approach. And, seamless interactions across the channels will be key. So, I hate to use it, but this creation of an institutional memory where, you log on online, you deal with one of our calculators, and you can basically pick up where you left off when you walk into a branch. So that's what excites me, is actually being more relevant than ever in the future.
And we also hear a lot about big data these days. Now, banks have an awful lot of data. What sort of opportunities could there be for banks to maybe do new things with that?
Yeah, it touched on, which is that one-to-one approach, and I think mining transactional data will be key to that. So getting better understanding of customers. I mean, there's a great example out of the UK. American Express and Foursquare, who are a loyalty provider there, have actually teamed up where they've actually linked your credit card transactional data to a loyalty app that when you're walking down the street, it knows you spend your money at the countdown around the corner, and actually automatically sends you an offer through a geolocation service. So you're really going to see a linking of that loyalty and data come together to provide more relevant offers than ever.
Yeah, and loyalty schemes was something I did want to touch on. I mean, we don't have a lot of them in banking in New Zealand at the moment. I mean, BNZ's obviously involved in flybys.
Yeah.
But is that something that we could expect to see more of, and is that something that Westpac's looking at doing more in?
Yeah, so we have our Hot Points program, which is one of the only general rewards loyalty schemes in the market. A lot of other our bank competitors have the obviously the Air Points product with Air New Zealand. One exciting thing for me with the shift to Hot Points in this general rewards is it's your points your way. And I think that's what excites me about our platform is you can spend your points however you like. You can even actually redeem it for KiwiSaver now. So you can actually take your Hot Points and redeem it for your KiwiSaver fund. So it's pretty exciting for me is how far can we broaden that reach over the next 5 years. And
obviously we often hear about bundling of services and cross-selling as well. Now, are we going to see more of this going on? And are we going to see banks working with, I guess, working more with other companies from other industries to bundle products together to sell to customers, do you think?
Yeah, I think we will actually, absolutely. As we move and banks move into this non-traditional products and services, partnerships will be key. You can't be an expert at everything as much as we'd all like to be, and those right partnerships will actually, set the right people apart, I feel, in the future.
When you sit here and look at how quickly things are changing, does it get a bit scary sometimes?
Yeah, I'd actually say it's exciting. It's all, the opportunity, and being part of banking for a while now, it's really this pace of change is more than ever. We're almost moving to a quasi-tech company, and this rapid pace of evolution. The best part about it, as I've touched on, is this customer-led approach. We're closer to our customers than ever before, and actually being able to be more relevant is what excites me.
And I guess if you put get your crystal ball out, what do you think could be the sort of 2 or 3 most, I guess, exciting or significant changes we could see in banking in the next 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, look, I think locally the payments agenda is pretty hot at the moment, and we've seen that. Obviously, there's a market utility coming out, which is this shared digital wallet, and it's where the telcos and the banks are partnering up to launch this service in the next calendar year. That's quite exciting, and it will enable the near-field communication payments, so pay with your mobile phone in the next 12 months. I definitely see payments will be a big one. But, there's not a week that doesn't go by now. You see a new app launch from any bank. We've just stacked up our new internet banking platform and released that to 5,000 staff internally. I can't wait for that to roll out to customers. And one of the big benefits there is this device agnostic approach. I think that'll be one of the big things. So, you can log on to your mobile phone in the morning or your iPad, then you're on your computer at work. You can come back home to your iPad and then finish up with the smart TV, and it'll be the same experience across all channels. So, where will we end up? That's a tough question.
Well, thanks a lot for that, Shane. That's Shane Howell from Westpac, and I'm Gareth Vaughan at interest.co.nz.